So we're going to analyze everything a fullback needs to know on the football pitch, allowing you to focus on the right things to improve on and implement it in your game. So to start, what actually is a fullback? They are the outermost defenders that are tasked with multiple roles, which we're going to go over now. To make it simple, we'll just focus on the ones in blue, but the same things apply to the red fullbacks as well. So fullback has lots of different responsibilities, and they're very different to other defenders like centre backs and even midfielders as well. The fullbacks have to really be in charge of this whole flank, going up and down, attacking and defending, and that is very different from other roles. Centre backs are tasked less so with attacking, whereas fullbacks are also now required in the modern game to come into midfield and attack. So it's a very demanding position which requires a lot of fitness because you're constantly running up, down, inside, outside all the time. So we're going to quickly go over all the general roles, and then we're going to focus on attacking and defending, and then the other general tips I would give as a fullback. So if we're talking about fullbacks and their major role, it's about being able to provide width and attack up and down the flank. So whether that means being able to receive the ball on a switch and then playing forwards, or being able to drive with the ball and take pressure away from your team and progress the play up the pitch. Fullbacks aren't required just to stay out wide and cross the ball. You have to be able to go up and down. So what that means is that have good fitness, obviously, but make sure that you can actually do these runs in a game. And another key thing to understand as a defender, as a left back or right back, is that you have to be able to provide support and form connections with the players on the pitch. So if you have your centre back right here, you're no good all the way up there, or you're no good if someone doesn't rotate and switch with you. So you need to be able to communicate when you're moving so that you can switch with other players. But if we're sticking to the basics, it's just important that you provide some sort of support. So right now, in this situation, you are providing support. You are creating some sort of attacking or overload situation where you can work with your team. You can provide width, and then maybe you can make some sort of rotation and create movement. So be able to be in a position where you can actually support your teammates. And so the main players you have to support are your centre backs, your midfielders, and your wingers. You're not going to have the most direct relationship with your striker unless you're crossing the ball or playing the ball in. So make sure you're constantly communicating with these positions so that you can understand where you should be in space. So for example, if you are playing out and this is the situation right here, the wingers come here, right? They're very tight to you. Maybe now's your time to go up, move up the pitch, and let this person take the position, creating some space for this player here. Don't just stand here because the right back should be in this zone over here. Be able to move, and that comes with communicating with the positions that are around you. So now we're going to go over some basic attacking scenarios to help you understand how a fullback can be involved on the pitch. So the first one we're going to start with is an overlapping run. Let's say that our right winger has the ball and he's up against a defender here. This is the left back of the other team. You cannot really support him if you're standing behind him here waiting for the ball. You're not really doing much. If you make an overlapping run, you will then put this defender into some sort of predicament. Do they stay and give you the space for you to potentially get the ball? Do they follow to give this winger the space to run in? Or do they stay in the middle, giving you a passing option or allowing you to do both? So just by making a run, you can cause this defender problems, and when other players come in and get involved as well, that causes shuffling, and then you can get other players involved as well, where they can go and shoot. So if you are standing still, you're not really doing much for your team. So if you're right back, look at your right winger. Where is he? What is he doing? Can you make a run to support him, to drag this defender away, and then create something on the ball? Similarly, if the winger starts really wide, you can create another run called an underlapping run, which is running inside, and then you are again putting this defender into trouble. Does he follow your run, allowing this player to come in? Does he stay, allowing you to be played in behind? Or does he stay in the middle, causing him, making sure he's not really doing much? He could give this defender or this winger a chance to cross the ball, and he's not really committing to anyone. So this run raises questions. It asks questions of the defending team to make a decision, putting them under pressure. And now, when you're in this position, have you got the ability to ask a question of the goalkeeper, put the ball in, maybe have a quick shot, catch him off guard? Here is your chance to really do something for your team. And another thing that is quite common now, especially since we have inverted fullbacks and all these different rotations going on the pitch, is can you understand when you should maybe switch your position? Sometimes the ball's over here is coming and you're not really doing anything by standing here. Maybe now is it, can you talk to your winger or your midfielder? Can you run in, creating space? So can you move and know when to move? The game is very fluid and you're not going to be able to just stay in one spot. So can you move, creating a chance for your winger to come in and then receive the ball? And one more important thing about a fullback is that it's very important to make sure that you're not in line with your winger at all times. That makes it easy for them to defend. Right now, they're not really having to work. So if you see your winger, you have a decision to make. Do you go wider than your winger, creating an angle so you can maybe dribble, one of you can do something, or do you go a bit more narrow, giving your winger the chance to go wide? Make sure you're never in the same line as your winger. Try and minimize this as much as possible because it makes it harder for the opposition to defend once you guys are moving and you're being unpredictable. So if we look at it again, this might mean being a bit more narrow so your winger has a chance to be out wide, giving you a good passing option, then you can support again. If you're both in line, first of all, it's harder to make that pass because it's very linear and it's very difficult. But here you have a bit more chance to have more options. You can create a triangle maybe, and if you're in line, it's hard to connect with other players because you're a little bit further away. So come in, have a relationship where you're never in line with your winger. If the winger comes in, now's your time to go out. And this is not only important just for these two positions on the pitch, it's also important for your whole team. Let's say that we have the ball here and we have it with the left back. They're pressing and everyone's here. So you've got the striker about to close off that space. You've got the two midfielders. You've got your centre backs. You've got your left back. And we're now they're ready. They're on us with the ball. So now we can really see how important that concept is if we look at this position. Let's say that you're right here. You're in line with your winger. You're not helping your team. You might be this might be a good distance and etc. when you're on the ball, but you're not helping the team. This makes it very easy to defend. Either you or your winger has to come wide to stretch the defense of the other team. If you come wide here, you have all of this space to work with. All of this space is just for you to work with. That gives question marks to the team. Now, if you stay in line with your winger, it's very easy for them to defend. They know that this space that we just went over is not dangerous to them as of now. So, come wide. And if it's not you, tell your winger to come wide, opening up space for maybe this midfielder to come in and receive the ball. Have constant communication so one of you guys is wide and one of you guys is narrow, so you're always creating chances for you to create on the ball. And now, lastly, on the attacking side, we're going to go over a couple things that you just have to have in your locker as a fullback if you want to be competent and play at a good level. So the first one is you need to be able to pass the ball very well. If you're playing at the back, you need to be able to actually have the ability to maybe split the lines of the defender of the defending team and then progress the play forward. And especially now, if we're talking about the modern game, sometimes you might have to come and receive the ball in the middle. Can you turn and can you progress the play? To be able to pass the ball and receive the ball under pressure, because that's something that is required as a modern fullback. And further up the pitch, you need to be able to dribble past players. You need to be able to have link-up play, so maybe it's like a 1-2, have good movement, and also be able to put crosses into the box or switch the play if you need to. So if you look at someone like Trent, who is just an outlier of how good he is on the ball, if you can even try and just develop some tools like that, whether it's crosses into the box or set pieces, you become a tool for your team. Have something that you can offer. And again, this all applies to the left back as well. I'm just focusing on the right back, so it's easy to understand in the video. But everything I said works for the left back as well. Have a relationship with your winger. One goes wide, one goes narrow. Be able to do overlapping runs, underlapping runs, move away from the defender and create some sort of problem in their back line. Now we're going to talk about defending scenarios for fullbacks. So the first thing you need to be able to do is have constant communication again. We've just went over overlapping runs and underlapping runs on the other side. A way to defend against that is being in constant communication with your centre back, your midfielder, and your winger, letting them know to cover you. Say you're making an overlapping run, let the winger know you come to the ball, I'm going to follow. Have constant communication so that you're making sure that you're marking as many players as possible. If you're being quiet and you're scared, you might follow the run, giving this person space, and this winger does not know what to do because he's not paying attention, and boom, they can score. Have communication so that this winger knows, okay, you have to follow this man, and you have to follow the wing back. Or maybe this guy follows him, you come to the ball since you're already there. Have constant communication. And the same thing goes for your centre back and your midfielder. Maybe let him know, hey, I'm going to go wide, come over, come over, come over, and then this can happen, or we can cover. This movement starts with just constant communication, Same thing with the midfielder. Tell him to come into this space, maybe double up, make it a 2v1 so you can win the ball. And the bread and butter of a fullback is 1v1s. Can you defend a 1v1? Maybe show them on the outside, or if you're brave enough, if you're going to show them to the inside, which is not recommended, can you tackle? Can you progress the play? And the same thing when you're going forward. Have you got the ability to beat your man? Be brave on the ball, have your 1v1s. And in 1v1s, another important skill to have is your tackling. Can you win the ball? Fullbacks need to be able to have some sort of way to win the ball, whether it's tackling, getting players to make it a 2v1. Make sure you have a reliable method. The most common thing, just be able to tackle, slow down the player, make sure you can then create some sort of good defensive structure. And in regards to defensive structure, like I said, constant communication is necessary and make sure that you are watching the offside line. If you're on cuckoo land and you're not paying attention, you've brought the offside line all the way back here and they can come up and they can progress the play. But if you are paying attention and you're in communication, you will then move the line up the pitch, making it harder for them to score against you. And this is simple, and all it comes from is just being able to talk to your defenders. So have an understanding of offside, how to work with your defenders when they move up the pitch, move up with them, so that you're constantly changing your position. Hakimi and Desiree Doué here have that relationship, but one is more narrow and one is wider. In this situation again, one is narrow, one is wide, showing that they need to have that relationship as fullbacks. And then here that allows to create a passing angle for them to actually operate and move the defence. And now here, Hakimi is in an inverted position almost as a striker, and in the second frame, Trent is as an inverted midfielder as well, showing that forwards have to take different positions in the modern game. And now in these frames, we're just showing that fullbacks have to take set pieces, they have to take throw-ons as well, so if you're a fullback, just be prepared for those types of scenarios on the pitch as well. And now I just want you to look at number 19, Alphonso Davies. This is an overlapping run. He's creating the overlapping run to receive the ball and then put a cross in. It doesn't really lead to a goal, but that shows that as a fullback you can create trouble for the defence like that by making an overlapping run, and that actually creates an angle for them to do something. So now we've gone back to that still frame and we're going to look at Hakimi's actual movement. He's coming back to the halfway line. He's that midfielder there near the referee. He's come in, and the ball is being played, and now he goes back out, showing that a fullback has to make lots of different movements, and then he receives the ball, and now he plays a quick 1-2 with Desiree Doué, and then see, from there they can progress the play. So as a fullback, you're not always staying in that same position, you're actually rotating, and now it's all the way out at the wing. So you're rotating, causing problems to the other team, and then now look, that's caused them to win the ball up the pitch, and they're doing something. The last two scenarios are going to show defending situations. So we've got the ball Liverpool coming up the pitch, and as fullbacks and defenders you have to be running back and still defending. So that clip just shows that you have to do lots of running back as well, and then obviously they're giving away a free kick. And then in the second situation, just look at the defensive line. I press play and look how slowly they move up, all staying in line, moving the offside line up, and that causes the rest of the team to move up, and they can put pressure on the ball. And now once they put pressure on the ball, they play it and they get the ball back. It's just as simple as moving up the pitch, they win the ball back.